All right, everybody, welcome to the August Nutrition Coordinators meeting. I sent out a agenda that was attached to the invite. So if you pull up your calendar, you'll be able to kind of see just a few items that we had talked about. But what we'll do is just kind of go around, see what everybody's up to, give us a quick update, and then what we'll do is go through any items with the farmers market stuff. If you have any questions, talk about that. And then also monitoring season's upon us. So see if you have any questions on that. And if there's any other topics you want to discuss at the end, we can for sure review that. So we'll just kind of go around here and give us an update. Let us know how things are going. I know there was some recent emails regarding a few things. So if you want to bring those up, we can talk about them briefly, or if you want to push them to the back after our round here, we can certainly discuss them there too. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and start. And let's see here. I think I saw Lori at Northeast. I saw you on first. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Not much going on here. Been out to a couple of centers. They're doing pretty good. Um, Working on the farmer market coupon. As you know, we had some issues with that, but I think we're back on track. But otherwise, nothing much.
Very good. Yeah, I think yeah, we can discuss that too. I think there was an issue that had to resolve with Casey and Zoe and accessing, making sure that you had more access to the funding and stuff like that. And it was a computer issue. But yeah, as long as you're able to get in there and insert more, I think that was the main thing.
Yep.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much. Any questions for Northeast? All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to then, let's go to Allison in Enowa.
Hello. We are rolling out bingo size here shortly. We are still doing really well with our grab and go that's slowly getting more popular. We had we were down from last month about 1,500 meals between our home delivereds and congregate, but with some of the different centers having events or trips planned, there were some days where they didn't have meals. And I think with people in maybe vacations, they're not home. We just had less meals this month. But other than that, Caitlin is at the Home Delivered Meals Conference this weekend, or this week right now. And so she is not in the office. But other than that, everything is going well.
Hey, very good. That's good to hear. And yeah, I did get a note from her saying that she was in Phoenix. There's some other SUA folks, not from here, but from across the country who are there as well. I was on a meeting earlier, and yeah, there's some folks in Iowa that run the Nutrition Resource Center who were really looking forward to going to that. And yeah, it should be really good. And maybe we'll get an update. I think I sent her an email. I said, hey, when you get back, can you can you give us an update to what you learned in Phoenix? So yeah, she's enduring the hopefully she's inside where it's cool and not
Right.
during
It's
the
dry heat
horrible.
though. It's dry heat.
Yeah, that's true. Not like unlike what we're gonna get here in the next few days, which is gonna be miserable. So awesome, Allison. Thank you so much. Any questions for Allison or Enowa? Perfect. Thank you so much. Let's move on then to Carmen, Blue Rivers. See, Carmen, you may be on mute. That's okay. We can come back to Carmen. No problem. Let's go to Rachel.
Hello.
Lou.
Um, it feels like it's been crazy busy, but I don't know if I can pinpoint exactly everything I've been doing. As far as our meals and such go, we discontinued to-go meals as of July 1st. We thought it was good to get ahead of that before the funding went back to pre-COVID levels. And just get people back to being used to the idea of coming in and getting their meal. And oddly enough, or wonderfully enough, our congregate meals have increased with getting rid of the to-go meals. We've seen a lot of crossover for people who started primarily during the to-go meals, never knowing what a congregate meal, truly was, and they've switched over to getting a congregate meal. So that is very nice. Our farmers market coupons are primarily done. We're still offering them out of office and getting the word out there. I think because I was pretty tight on checking incomes and things like that, our number of people who wanted them was significantly less than the previous year. I don't know if it's because I was looking at their numbers. But so we still have coupons left, which that never happens in all of my years. I have never had any left come August. Bingo size is going strong. I think we have 5 counties that are doing it. Some are on their 3rd session. Everybody will be doing the fall prevention one starting in September to bring in the first day of fall. Other than that, it's just kind of getting back to the nitty-gritty, getting some surveys out, getting some quality control checks with the vendors and meal temp checks and just all the regular stuff.
Awesome. Fall prevention in fall. That's terrific. That's exactly what, and I think September is Falls Prevention Month. So
It is.
yeah, that's wonderful to hear. And yeah, well, good. That's good to hear. Uh, getting the word out too about the farmers market stuff. I mean, if you even have leftover stuff, you can, you still have till October 31st, so you have a few months as well. If people
Yeah.
want to get in some fall produce, they can do that. So, but yeah, no, that sounds really good. I think what we may do is we may even have maybe in the fall do a call similar to this, but it'll be like a 3D call, and we can maybe talk a little bit about falls prevention, 3D courses, what works, what doesn't work, what people are doing, what their plans are. There's a little bit of transition going on with some of that stuff here at the state, not on our level, but just with the people that work with the health departments. They're doing more trainings, new positions going in. So it's been really good. And I think that with some of the successes you guys have had with bingo size, that's really important to emphasize. And knowing that, there's things out there that work that don't cost as much, that I think is always really favorable when it comes to spending your money on a program. It's like we want to be able to do it, but we also want to make sure that we're not spending an arm and a leg on getting all that training and stuff. It's because it's hard. You have to keep up the license every year, and you have to implement the training. So doing something that's affordable and easy to implement definitely helps. So very good. Any questions for Midland, Rachel? Thank you so much. Carmen, we'll come back to you. I see you. How's it going?
You do see me, thanks.
I do.
Had a little computer snafu there, but I'm back
That's
on.
okay.
So, Blue Rivers is maintaining about the same. I thought it was interesting, Rachel, how you have dropped your to-go program and we're pushing ours. So we'll see how that works. But we are currently right now looking to start some stepping on classes. We've got somebody trained, and we'll be doing some stepping on in Fairbury and Beatrice to get started with things. Wonderful farmers markets coupons are all done in my area. And it was kind of nice to be able to give everybody some education along with that on a one-on-one basis. Plus, we found out that we were also able to give out quite a few brochures on other services that we might have to offer for those people. Right now, we're just kind of keeping going with basic things. Carla, do you have anything else that you can add to that? We will be, I'm the one that sent out the note, and I thank everybody for getting back to me on that for the price increases. We will be making a price increase for us September 1st, $6 for 60 and up, and $9 for under 60. It was inevitable. We had to make that choice because of the cost of food.
Yeah, and I saw the yes, there was, I believe you sent that out yesterday. I think we had our elder justice training, and I was corresponding. Kind of, I was answering emails for the instructors too, and I saw that pop up as well. So I was kind of corresponding with that, and I saw that I've sent out there's some of that guidance too on voluntary contributions and things like that, and yeah, just kind of have to work with it and see what works best in your area, and see what people respond to, and sometimes it's about the wording too, and how you put things different places for contributions and whatnot. So thanks for sending that information out to Carmen. That was really good. Those are good questions to ask to the whole group, and I encourage everyone to continue to do stuff like that. If something comes up, just talk amongst yourself and just throw that out there, and we'll definitely be able to help each other out. So that's great, Carmen. Well, very good. Any other items or any other questions for Carmen or Carla at Blue Rivers? All right, we'll move on. Let's move on then to, I see Samantha at Aon.
Hey guys, let's see. We're still handing out farmers market coupons in our outlying areas because I'm the only one handing them out this year. So that has been a lot. And yeah, trying to keep up with entering the stuff in the computer and all of that, but everybody's very thankful for it and loves the program. So I'm still doing that. We're getting ready to send out our food preference surveys and just getting ready for monitoring. We did decide to keep to go, and they're going well, honestly. Some of our sites I've seen an increase. The rest of them are about the same, but we have a lot of people that really benefits. So we are keeping that and coming up with some creative ways to track like our med waiver and Title 20 meals and things like that, because we don't put them in Peer Place now. So yeah, just getting into the new year, really. Nothing. Our staff is going well. I think we're going to start bingo size in like September, October, more in the fall when things calm down with everything else. I think that's it. We have seen a decrease in numbers really for July, and so I'm just guessing that it's traveling. We have some people who travel for the whole summer with their family and they're out of town, so hopefully that's not a permanent thing. We did have a lot of people upset when we did our criteria and they found out they didn't qualify for home delivered. Some of them have switched to congregate, some prefer to go, some are probably not coming anymore because they're upset. But I think overall things are going well. There's just a lot going on right now.
Yeah, definitely, and that can be that's a good point you made. I think there was kind of that transition, and I think this kind of applies to everyone, that transition from individuals who are receiving home delivered meals while still being able to basically do everything, go around town, do the stuff they needed to do. They weren't considered homebound, but they were getting the meals. Um, and then transitioning them to like, hey, the centers are open now. We
Mhm.
can't we can't afford to have you all on a route. And hey, you can come pick one up at the center if you want. To-goes are available, or you can come to the senior center, but you don't
Yes.
really, yeah, I mean, so there's kind of that awkward transition of, and I think we had talked about that a number of times where it was about, uh, basically the need and the capacity to serve individuals. If they're all doing just home delivered meals and taking them to people, that's one thing. But if it's just about now who really needs those services, that's the most important thing. So, and yeah, so I know that's kind of a tough transition for some individuals, unless they are truly, they're really homebound and they need that help. Or even there's some situations where they're not appropriate for the congregate meal, things like that. That was interesting. That was a topic that we had talked about at this last meeting this week. We had we had an ACL meeting with all the nutrition resource people, and we had talked about whether or not someone was appropriate for a congregate meal. And there were some states that actually was interesting. They brought up basically a situation where somebody was either whether it was their clothes or whether it was like the cleanliness of them or whether it's bed bugs or something where someone had come to a center, and it was causing like a distress with other individuals who were there, and it could have been behavioral. So we talked about some of those things, and a lot of states either had um, their own regulations kind of for like at the senior center level, or something usually with the state, but we kind of put it on you guys to do your own regulations with some of the senior centers and things like that. But I did find it was kind of interesting how there were some places that had things put in place at the senior center level, and in that case, they would put them into like a home delivered meal situation, just because that was the most appropriate thing for them, and it was a way to still serve them. So there's so many different situations out there, but I think one of the things that we were going through, like you said, Samantha, is just that transition of COVID. Everybody was getting the home delivered meals to like, okay, we can only serve so many.
It's
Exactly. So
interesting that you say that because we've actually been talking about what we could do at one of my sites. So one of the guys who was on home delivered did not want to go in because he says the people there smell terrible and like they are loud eaters and so that kind of thing. And then at another site, yeah, he was not very kind. At another site, we have a man who like tries to grope people, and so we've had to get creative with how, like, how can we
yeah,
still help you and serve you, but also that's not appropriate and you cannot be acting like that in the center.
right, right. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. And there can be there's a wide range of interesting
Yeah.
behaviors for people. And I can see, yeah, that's exactly right. If it's somebody who's touchy-feely, people don't like that, they
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable, they're not going to come to the center because of that person's presence. What's a way that you can sort of accommodate them, say, look, and you guys, I mean, I want to say that like after that we had that meeting this week, that was on Tuesday. That is not an easy situation for anybody, and there's a lot of people just in every state where it's like that is a hard situation to deal with. It's not easy to talk to somebody. So basically, I think they said that like kind of getting together with a few people, um, and sitting down with the individual can help, because it's hard for one person just to do it. If you have a couple individuals who are like, look, this is what we had seen, or this is a behavior that had been reported, um, can we do it this way, meet you halfway in the middle. That was one thing that was kind of discussed, but I think overall it's not an easy situation. So those are good examples, at least, Samantha. I know we kind of got off on a tangent like that, but I just wanted to say, yeah, we had a pretty good meeting on that. Any other questions for Ayon, Samantha? All right. I was gonna save Jill for last. Jill went to a conference, and I wanted to see if she had any updates for us. But I know. Okay, wait a minute. Let's hear Sue. Sue, are you
Hi.
on? Hey, Sue.
Yes, I am. Okay, just got back around 2, so was happy to be able to get in on the call. I missed last month. Just got back from Ravenna. They had their celebration. They had a economic development grant that they did improvements to the center and had gotten their basement totally redone for storage and everything. It looks really nice. And also on Monday, that will be their 48th year in business as a senior center, so nutrition center. So it was a nice big celebration there that Rod, Carla, and myself attended. Then, of course, they also have a blood pressure hub. We had, just to refresh memory here, we had gotten that grant for Buffalo County from the American Heart Association that we did blood pressure hubs at the Peterson Senior Center, which is in Kearney, and the Ravenna Center. And so they, were wanting to promote that as well. So that's going good. Talking blood pressure, I just finished a blood pressure class at the Elm Creek Housing. So I've done 2 of those classes and hoping to visit with Ravenna and maybe get something going there here after a bit. Farmers market coupons seem to be in the beginning. You just can't get them fast enough and can't get enough of them. And then now we have some, I'm getting back here and there from some of the centers and some here as well. So I went out to the farmers market yesterday to promote and visit with a few people in the heat. They don't do too good on Wednesdays afternoon, Saturdays morning is their big day, but I did manage to get rid of a couple. And then I did talk with the gal at Commodities, and they're going to have their commodity program on Tuesday for the Buffalo County. So, going to go out there and serve, and I'll probably be able to get rid of the rest of them that we do have remaining. Hope so. I mean, I just can't get this. It's such a wonderful program. It shouldn't be a problem. Let's see. Attended the Cashway Health Show that they had a while back, and I did want to comment that, and maybe I did. I don't remember too much going on personal. We had a funeral in the family and just other things. Too much. You know how it goes. Just too much going on. But Comstock did get that large economic development grant, and the governor even attended that. That was quite a celebration there for the little town in Custer County. So that was super good. As far as meals to go, they're just popular in our area, and I think they will be. Not that you don't want to get people into the center, but it just depends, on the area and how all that's going. But thankful that they are, I think they'll be there to stay, at least as far as I know. I don't know, Eric, if you know anything different. I don't think ACL plans to get rid of anything soon. I kind of think they'll be I just think they're going to be part of the structure, but what, I don't really know. Other than that, just been busy, and that's it. Unless there's any questions for me, that's probably all.
Very good. Awesome. Sue, thank you so much. Thank you for the update.
Well, thank you.
That was a good, that was a really neat thing for Comstock, and to see the center and all the, to see that kind of get rejuvenated, and the situation up there, it just looked really good. So that was exciting news for them in that area in Custer County. So yeah, no, very good.
Thank
Let's
you.
see here. Anybody have any questions for Sue? South Central? Doing good. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I know Angie couldn't be here today, but Aaron, do you have any updates or anything for West Central?
Hi, yeah. So from what Angie reports, she's got, I think, only 80 ish farmers market coupons left to hand out and be assigned across all of our counties. So that's going okay. We've been having a couple of shred days at our senior centers, and we have been doing that through this SMP, the Senior Medicare Patrol Program. We've done Cozad, McCook, and then this last one in July, we did in North Platte. We shredded over 8,000 pounds of paper, so that was really, really exciting. That was a great turnout. So we look forward to doing more of those in our senior centers. Let's see. There was something else that I was going to say and I forgot. I did have a question for everybody. I don't know, Eric, about information and assistance. Is this where the time that I should ask that question that Angie had sent?
Actually, I have a note here from her too, and we can
Okay,
talk about that right after this too.
perfect.
Yeah, let's talk about that here.
Okay.
We'll get through Jill, and then yeah, Aaron, that's a great question, and we can bring that up to the group for sure.
Otherwise, I think everything else is going okay.
Awesome, Aaron. And that's great to hear with the shredding. That's amazing because, we talked about that yesterday at the Elder Justice training and how important that is, just for identity theft and any shred events that people see, bring that to their attention and make announcements at senior centers. And yeah, that's fantastic. So,
And I did remember what else I was going to say.
yeah.
For our 3D programs,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got one of our senior centers is planning this fall to start up stepping on again. She's done it in the past and been successful in the past. North Platte Senior Center, the director there went and got trained for Tai Chi, and she had such a good turnout her first round that she had to open up another class in the afternoons for Tai Chi. So that's really exciting.
Oh, that's great. That's good news.
Yep.
That's excellent. Yes, this fall, starting new programs. That's awesome. And again, like I said before, I'll put together something I think where we may have a 3D meeting, maybe September, maybe mid to late September or something. Just look for on your calendar. And actually, I don't know. I know Lindsay Steele's coming back from maternity leave, I think 29th of September. So maybe before that, maybe after that. We'll see. No, great update, Aaron. Thank you, West Central. Appreciate it. Any questions for Aaron? All right, and we'll end with Aging Partners and Jill. Go ahead and give us an update. And then also, Jill went to one of the conferences, and if there's any information you want to share with us.
Sure.
Let us know.
Things in our area are going well. I have been doing the monitoring visits for our county programs, which is going well, just busy. But no major red flags in any of those areas, so that's really good. We are doing our plate waste studies this month for Lancaster County, so City of Lincoln. And again, that just allows us to get feedback from clients regarding what they like and don't like about the meals, and then approximately how much of that meal is being discarded. So that way we can figure out if it's a preference issue, quality issue, or cooking issue. So that's going well. We are planning on implementing our to-go meals effective September 1st. So I'll be visiting with our county programs about that next week. They are excited and ready to go. A lot of them are looking for it as a way for outreach in their communities, to help promote some of the older adults coming in, but then the under 60, maybe for their areas where there's not a lot of other meal options available. So they're excited for that. And yeah, so I went to a US Aging conference, about a month ago, and it was in Salt Lake City. There's a couple of us from Aging Partners that went. So some of the key takeaways that I got was some of it was just regarding the partnerships, the importance of partnerships with local food banks, food pantries, health departments, multicultural centers, to address some of the food insecurity needs in our areas. And really just looking at some of those collaborations. Some centers in the country have actually partnered. They've been having issues with their home delivered meal programs. It's amazing how long of wait lists some of these programs are on. There are some centers that reported like 500 to 1,200 people on a wait list for their home delivered meals, which is scary. So there's been some work that they've done in collaborating with other meal partners, such as like Mom's Meals, local food pantries. There's one center that actually partnered with Amazon to help provide meals, home delivered meals to folks. So just getting really creative in how some of the services are expanded or even maintained. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me was there was a center in New York that had changed the formatting of their menus into more of a restaurant style format. It was really cool. Eric, do I have the option of sharing my screen?
Let's see here. Yeah, I think you do.
Can I do that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
downloaded
Yeah,
it.
that's perfect.
Can you see that?
Yes, looks
Okay.
fantastic. Yeah.
So the menu on the left is probably what all of our menus look like. I know at least in my area, this is exactly what all of our menus look like. And the menu on the right is how they reformatted it. So it's the same information, just formatted very similar to how a restaurant would do it. I know they said it took some of their current clients a little bit of time to kind of get used to it, but it was really appealing to some of the younger folks and getting them into the center, or at least getting them paying attention to what some of the meals were. So I thought this was really interesting, just a different format for it. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And I can send that out if anyone is.
Oh, please do. I think I like stuff like this. I think that's
I
what
like that
people
too.
enjoy, other than just, I mean, they don't mind what we're doing, but this is even more like a club kind of like concept.
Right.
Yeah, if you would send that to us, Jill, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's an easy way to implement a small change. And it's not a lot of, it's a big change, but it's not, it's just for marketing purposes and appealing to different people, and just the menus have probably looked the same for the last 30 years. So maybe an upgrade to that is something to consider. But to me, that was probably one of the biggest takeaways from the conference is the reformatting of this. So
Was it Chautauqua County in New York? Yeah, and then it goes from it was like school lunch to like an actual adult menu, and it had the dates on it too, so you can follow right along. Like you said,
right.
it's like it's a change, but it's not like a giant change. It's just the formatting is more appealing, and there's still the
Right.
information there.
Right. And this would be easy to incorporate into a newsletter or something that's going out where you're doing it on a weekly, or if you wanted to change it and do it, on a monthly basis, however, that looks. But I think there's just some opportunity for creativity on that end. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Jill, thank you so very much. Yeah, anything you guys want to share with each other is do it. That's wonderful. Just great ideas. Thank you so much for sharing your information from your conference, and yeah, that's wonderful. Any questions for Jill at Aging Partners in their new offices?
and
Got a lot of
yes,
got a lot of light coming in there, which is good.
I do. It's so nice. I was in the basement at our old building, so the fact that I can actually see outside is really fun.
Yeah,
So
you have a window. Very good. Awesome. Alrighty then. Okay, well, I think we've gone through everybody. And so what we'll do here is we have a next, just a few agenda items in the next 20 minutes or so, but I will swing back around to Aaron at West Central, and we can talk a little bit about INA, and then we'll talk just briefly on any questions you have for farmers market stuff. I think I just have a couple items I wanted to mention, and then if there's any other information you want to talk about, we have monitoring coming up, and then also if you guys have any loose items you want. But Aaron, do you want to go ahead and kind of see what your question is, and we can talk amongst ourselves and try to help you out a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we provide information and assistance through our senior centers. Our senior centers provide that to their clients, and usually it's in the form of telephone calls, people coming in, asking questions, where can I get certain services? And the senior centers log that as information and assistance units. We've struggled in the past and recently, it's always been a struggle to figure out what exactly should be counted from the senior center level with information and assistance. They used to count the newsletters that they sent out. They used to count their Facebook posts that they made, if there was like a nutritional education post that they made on Facebook. But that had gotten too complicated in what they could and could not count. So we stopped counting those units. And I'm recalling a little bit of information that had happened before I had arrived here at the agency. And now they're mostly counting people coming in and phone calls coming in. So we just wanted to see if anybody out there across the state had any good, solid guidelines for what should and should not be counted as information and assistance units through the senior centers, what types of calls, and especially any documenting formats that we could look at.
This is my favorite. So in general, I tell them I had a hard time when I was at the senior center trying to figure out what counted and what didn't. And I broke it down to if it's a who, what, when, where, or why question. And I know that seems odd because it seems like everything would fit in there, but if they're calling and saying they want to cancel a meal or they want to sign up for a meal, well, then of course that wouldn't count. But if they are asking a who, I mean, any of those information type questions. So if they're asking what's on the menu, you're providing them with information. Or if you're having a conversation with someone and they're talking about moving to some senior living, but they don't know where any are. So that would be a where or a what. I don't know. I have it kind of broken down. I'm not at my computer though, so I can't mail you. I made a little training sheet to make it a little easier. And then I just have them list everything, every conversation they have on the phone with some, just, it doesn't have to be a paragraph, just some simple notes of, wanted to know the menu or signed up for a meal, and then at the end of the month, they just kind of go through and filter through which ones answered questions.
Okay.
But I gotta make myself a note to email you.
Yeah, that would be great.
If it's
That
okay,
sounds like a good guideline.
if it's okay, is it all right if I mention something, Eric?
For sure.
Let me just share my screen here real quick, if that's okay. So I think what Rachel was mentioning when she said who, what, when, where, why wait, you probably can't. Can you see the screen that has the information and assistance information on it?
Yes.
Okay. So as she was saying, information and assistance can be anything that gives clients information about aging services or the aging network. So whether you're just telling someone about something and they're going to go pursue it, or whether you're just giving them information to enrich themselves, any of that stuff can be considered information and assistance. The main thing is that when it says one-on-one setting, that doesn't mean that it can't be done in a senior center where there's 40 people there. It just means the interaction is a one-on-one type of thing. So when you were talking earlier about newsletters going out, or website hits and referrals, those are things that we used to count as information services because it was like a group setting kind of thing. This means it's a one-on-one, maybe setting isn't the right word, but it's a one-on-one interaction. So like Rachel was saying, if you're giving someone the who, what, when, where, how, why about anything that has to do with the aging network or aging services, then you would count that as a unit of information and assistance. And again, it's a contact. It's not time. It's just if it's 5 seconds and someone just says, "Hey, what's the phone number for the West Central Nebraska Area Agency on Aging?" down to, um, can you show me the website to go to apply for Medicaid? And you sit down at a computer and you showed them the website and gave them a couple hints on, you know, how to do something, then it's still just one contact. And one thing that is required with information and assistance is that you have follow-up procedures. And so what that means is you're just saying who, what, or how and when you're going to contact the individuals. So really what that comes down to is something as simple as saying, like, we're going to use this format for keeping the notes of who we provided information to or how we provided information. So if someone calls on the phone and doesn't want to give their name, that's fine. It can be, it can be anonymous, but there just needs to be some sort of formal system. And most people are just doing a pad and a paper where it's like the date, the time, a name if they wanted to give it, essentially very vaguely what you told them, and do they need follow-up? That's, as long as you have that, you have adequate follow-up procedures in place. But if you don't have something where, they can, someone who needs, if they requested follow-up, someone doesn't have adequate information to follow up and the knowledge that they should follow up, then you don't have adequate follow-up procedures in place. So it doesn't need to be anything fancier than a pen and paper, but it should follow some sort of guideline as to, this is where we write down the date and the time. This is where we write down the name if they chose to give it. This is where we wrote down what you told them or what they wanted. And this is where you say, do they need to be followed up with, yes or no? And obviously, if they don't want to give their name, then there's no follow-up because you can't. But those are basically the kind of things that would make it so that you could count it as a unit of information and assistance.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, those are
I have
great
a
points.
digital form of that one too. If I'll send it out tomorrow morning.
Oh, you have like your notepad
Like
follow.
we call it an INA log.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would love to see that, Rachel. Thank you very much.
That Aaron, that gave you a great, that would give you a really good example of what what's included. You can share that with Angie and yeah, if if you guys have any further questions or whatever, you can let us know. And Ben, you can stop sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. I think that so what we'll do is but no, thank you, Ben, very much. That really clears it up. And I think one of the things that we can learn is just, examples on what you do for different services. So Rachel, that will really help. That'd be awesome.
So it doesn't even have to be to an eligible person, meaning someone who's 60 and over. It just has to be information about the aging network or aging services.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Cool. Hey, that's great. Yeah, this is great. If you guys ever have questions on services, bring them up. We'll try to answer them as much as possible. We'll get out the old program reference guide, and you guys can throw some examples around and get to it. So that was a good lowdown. Thank you very much, Aaron, for bringing that up. Any other questions on INA? Okay, awesome. We'll have about 13 minutes left here. I just wanted to go over a few things, and I think one of them was number one, farmers market stuff. Has anybody run into any other issues besides Lori? Lori had some issues with being able to get into enter in. Lori, you were entering in some of the sets, and there were some issues with the amount that was allocated, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You're right. It told me it had no more money to remain to bring in those coupons.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I think what we did is I think we were able to get that fixed. If you have any more problems, let me know.
okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Because Casey and I we communicated that with Zoe Francisco in Missouri, and made sure that the numbers that you were given, the sets, that dollar amount was then made available on the website. So I think what happened was do you guys remember when there was that hiccup when it was 184K total? I think that they were issuing, and then Department of Ag came back and said, oh no, now it's 219. And there was that whole issue that happened that was very frustrating. Um, I think what happened was they had entered in that previous amount that was under 184K or whatever allotted. So, yeah, I think we have it fixed. If there's anything that comes up, I'll let you know. But I had talked to Casey and Zoe, and I think we should be good.
Okay, sounds
So thank you very much, Laura. I appreciate your patience on all that, because that
No
was frustrating.
Sorry.
Sorry. Other than that, we have been talking with. I'm hoping that next year is going to be less of a mess. We had a meeting with the Bank of Missouri and also Department of Ag a couple weeks ago, and talked about some of the frustrations y'all have been facing. And not only that, but just trying to get the website updated. And I talked to somebody else at Ag who she was able to kind of understand where some of the trouble we've been having with the program, and just a whole host of things. So number one, getting the coupons in advance, I made that clear to them that we need to have that done in advance. And also, I'd really like to have like a meeting next year with all of you and Department of Ag getting together, so that we're all on the same page, like a coordinators / Department of Ag meeting, so that you guys can express, what you're wanting from them. I think that would help make things more transparent, and also better the lines of communication between all three of us. And so, next year I'm looking at having a meeting probably sometime early in the year. That way we can really get the ball rolling early and then not have to deal with this situation again. Because if we could get the printers, if the printers could be, I think it was a new printer this year, but you know, whatever, if they can do the same job as last year, but do it like a month and a half or so in advance, that eliminates all the shipping problems and delays and gets the coupons in your hand and then also into the hands of the participants early. That way we're not doing that spring, you know, crunch where it's a week or so after, you know, the program starts and it's just a mess. It's just a hectic, unnecessary mess. So I made those things known to Department of Ag and also to one of their managers, and hopefully the website will be improved as well. So there's just a bunch of things that we need to improve. So I'm hoping next year runs better because it's a good program. It's just you know, it better organized. It will help everybody. So besides Lori, has anybody else had any issues?
Eric, can I add one thing to that list maybe for the meeting next year?
Yeah.
If I know this year was the redemption rate report was different than what it has been in the past. I know at least for our redemption rate, they didn't actually look at the number of coupons being used. They look at how much money the vendor made, which was confusing for our areas because not all the vendors live in the area which the coupons are being distributed. So I don't know if there's a different way that they can go back to how the redemption rates were done previously, where it goes by county for the number of coupons actually used versus the money that the vendor redeems. But that would be helpful if we could get that report a little bit more pertainable to our individual areas.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's gonna be done differently. I know it'll be done differently than last year because of the QR codes. I haven't seen the final. I
Sure.
mean, obviously, I haven't seen the final product on how that
Sure.
report's gonna come out. And honestly, I'd like to say that with all the things that have gone on this year, hopefully the reports turn out well. I want to say that. I really want them to say that. We're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see with this company, the bank, and this new system how it produces reporting results. I know it will be different because of how they track it with the QR codes. And so the way that she was saying that basically how this will be reported is it would be done by area, which is different from before because it's a totally different bank that's using them. So we'll just have to kind of stay tuned, but I know exactly what you're talking about because that would help identify those areas where there's less redemption. And as before, they were just like, well, this 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 vendor was making bank, and they were just getting all the coupons here. Yeah, it was very lopsided. It didn't look, yeah.
Our counties like to use that in their reports to their commissioners or their supervisors.
Exactly.
So that's a benefit for them to be able to show exactly how they're continuing to support the individuals in their area. So thank you.
You're welcome. And remember that point too. That's something we'll bring up with them, but remember that point as well when we meet with Ag, because I'd like to come up with something, after the new year, maybe February or so, something that gives us enough time. All right. Moving on, we have about 5 minutes left. As far as this fall goes, yeah, I hope to do maybe like I said, a 3D meeting to talk a little bit more about that. Monitoring is coming up. So we're headed out to visit Scotts Bluff here at the end of the month. So Samantha, we're coming to town. That'll be exciting. Looking forward to visiting with you guys. And then everybody else has their monitoring schedule laid out. Make sure that you're looking over the checklists. If you have any problems with SharePoint and uploading stuff, please let us know. The monitoring tool, again, it pretty much follows the same format. And I know that you guys have done a really good job in the past of making sure that you just answer all the questions, and then if you want to answer stuff with separate documents according to the letters, that's good too. And then supply the supporting documents subsequently after you answer each or answer each letter's response or whatever. You can do that. And so trying to continue to go to centers that I haven't been to, or if I have, or if I exhausted the list, going back to ones I hadn't been to in a while. So that's kind of my little mission for the year. But if you guys ever have questions about the monitoring tools, please let us know. We take them, we print them off, we review them, we go over them. So you guys done a really good job. So just be sure to let us know if you have any questions. But looking forward to monitoring and coming out and seeing you guys. And also, I do want to make a note too to let you know that if you want to send back farmers market stuff with me, that's fine. If you want to also scan stuff in and send it to me, that works as well. I just want to make sure that you guys are cutting down your costs on shipping, because that saves you guys money. It's unnecessary to send back a bunch of stuff in a big package that costs $20. Just don't do it. Scan it, send it to me if you need to. That's fine. I think Casey's just saying as long as he has it electronically, that's fine. Yeah. So if it's something where it's coming from the senior centers and they're sending stuff in, that's good. But just make sure that it can get here. We can print stuff off too. That helps. I just want to make sure you guys are saving some money in the long run. So. Let's see here. Okay, the next item, I think, well, basically it was just if you guys had any questions at the end. Is there anything that you can think of, any topics you want to discuss in the future? Well, if not, we can end here right at 3:00. Yeah.
This is Erin with West Central. I did
Yes.
something that I wanted to run by you and Ben.
Sure.
Would after this meeting be a good time? Can we stay on this, or is there a different time that would work better?
We can stay on this. This is fine. I'll stop recording here in a second and wrap that up, and we can continue this after this. And yeah, we can just stay on. Everybody else can go ahead and log off, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to stop hitting record right now. Thank you, everyone, so much for attending.